At this stage in the process of creating our first release, we have our first phase completed, but we still need to build out the UAT, verify, and production phases. To do this, instead of creating each phase from scratch, we're going to duplicate the CI phase and modify the duplicate to quickly create the UAT phase. Then we'll duplicate the UAT phase to build out the verify and production phases. So to get started, in the CI phase, we'll click the flyout menu and select Duplicate Phase. Next, we'll change the phase name to UAT. And then for the UAT phase, we're going to change how this phase runs. The CI phase ran automatically when a build notification from Jenkins arrived. But for the UAT phase, we're going to configure this one to execute at a specific time every day. And the reason for this is that in our demonstration example, the UAT phase will run automatically every night and deploy the latest successful build from the applications in the CI phase so that the UAT team has the latest builds available when they log in each morning. So we'll select Scheduled, and when we click on Scheduled Planned Dates, notice there's a From and a To field. To configure the phase to execute each day at a specific time, the From and To fields only need to specify the duration over the course of a single day. To define the From field, let's say our release pipeline will start next Monday, so we want to trigger the UAT phase to run at midnight on Tuesday after the first day of that release completes. So we'll click the date in the calendar and select the time of midnight for the execution to start. Next, we'll do the same for the To field, and we'll set the time to 6 a.m. on the same day. Then, to configure the phase to run on a recurring basis, we'll click Does Not Repeat, and from the drop-down select Daily at 12 a.m. Next, we'll make another change to this phase by selecting the Run Tasks with Updated Applications Only checkbox. And what that means is that only updated applications are deployed each night to UAT. If there have been no changes to those applications, they won't be deployed. And then under Environments, we'll delete the CI environment and then select UAT. Now notice that a warning popped up when we did this, indicating that deleting the environment can delete all of the endpoints to that environment. And because we're duplicating this phase and not actually removing the environment from the release, we can ignore this warning at this point. And with those changes in place, we can click Duplicate, and we now have the UAT phase in our release. But for the sake of example, we're also going to make a few changes to the task before we duplicate this phase again. From this phase forward, in each phase, we want to change the adaptive testing tasks to manual tasks that will require manual user interaction when the phase executes. So on the first adaptive testing task, we can click the name of the task to open it. And then under Task Type, we'll change this to Manual, and then click Save. And we'll repeat this for the second adaptive testing task as well. So now when this phase executes, when the execution reaches the testing tasks, the phase will pause and wait for user input, such as someone from a testing team marking the task as done or failing the task. With these two changes done, we can go ahead and duplicate the UAT phase to create the verify and production phases. And the only changes we're going to make during this process is to change the two new phases to run manually instead of on a schedule. That means that these phases will require a user to manually trigger the execution of each phase by clicking the Run button. And now we've completed creating all of the phases and all of the tasks for our new release.